Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. It's the day after the game. If you're new here and you're wondering what is this show about, we had a call-in show last night for 2 hours where we won't whine and complain for 2 hours. You're right, we did. But now we sit back, we get to digest it a little bit. I take all the thoughts into consideration. We rethink what we watched, and we give you more of a not such an emotional response. Cody and I break it down, have some conversations, some drama unfolded after the fact in regards to locker room drama. We're going to dive into that a little bit. We may even have an emergency show later on tonight, and I'll get into that later on. All because of how all things are unfolding. It's mayhem. Gator fans are tired of losing, as am I. We're tired of being mid. We're tired of a lot of situations. It's at a point now where it's gross. And a lot of people last night, like we have regressed. We're the only team in the SEC that has regressed in a time where the portal allows for you to fix holes, to amp up, to dial things in. You're in your fourth year. We talked about it all offseason. This is why I was so high on the Florida Gators for multiple reasons and where I was excited about. A lot of teams looked good yesterday. Georgia and Tennessee are two of them, but they looked beatable. They didn't look like this powerhouse that they've looked like in the past where it's like, man, like it's Georgia and then everybody else, or it's somebody else and then everybody else. LSU was beatable. They did not look good. Offensively, they are atrocious. They couldn't run the ball if they just saved their lives. They didn't throw the ball very well. They scored 13. No, how many points did they score? One touchdown, because the other touchdown was due to a pick six. Not good. At home at Death Valley. Now, they won the football game. That's all that matters. Brian Kelly had a little bit of a rant. Loved his rant. Totally understand where he's coming from. But my point of the matter is that these teams are beatable. And everything that we talked about all offseason, I still stand by what I said in the sense of what this team was going to be able to do, what I thought it could do because of the talent that was on that football team. And talent showed last night on the defensive side of things. Those guys played absolutely incredible. Only give up 2 touchdowns this entire year. And to be 1-2 is absolutely asinine. Asinine. The whole thing, look, I think for me, I was always concerned and fearful of having to start over. Right? That was a big thing for me. And a lot of us were. We don't want to lose DJ. We don't want to lose certain players. There's still players on this team that I don't want to lose. Miles Graham's one of them. Love the kid to death. Had him on our show. Spoke to his dad. I mean, the kid plays with so much heart, so much passion. So fun to watch. Played electric last night. Had an incredible score. A. Mizell played great last night too. Another one that I love. But it's at the point now where it's like I am so drained physically, mentally, emotionally from this that I'd rather have that than hang on to a few pieces. That's where it's at. And there's one part that I've got to be critical of myself because I think there's been a lot of people that have been yelling. And look, I still don't, I stand by how I manage myself. There's going to be things that I change and I may or may not kind of express and talk about that. I'm still walking through my process on that. But where people were claiming, and we talked about it last week with the AA in Strickland. And that's where these things need to go. And if you on the board as Scott Strickland, watch what unfolded last night. I thought when we watched USF it couldn't get any worse. I keep saying it, and it keeps getting worse. It worse in the sense that it felt like we were like it was. And Snell said I don't want to claim it, but it's terrorist behavior. When you got a guy throwing pick after pick who looks completely lost in the sauce and you make zero change, and Cody just said this, I'm not trying to take his words, I'll let him kind of elaborate on this, but you're showing the defense that you don't care. And you're playing one-sided ball. And my point to all that is, again, we all felt it as fans. Again, people have been farther along on one side than the other. That's fine. Not for the first time, but we all felt it tenfold, even more so last night. If you're Scott Strickland and you're the AA, how you can still sit there in your comfy little seats and not feel the urge to do something and say, hey, this is not the standard of Florida football that we strive to be. We need a change. We need a voice more than ever to stand up, and I totally get backing the people that you've employed. But if you think that product that was marched onto the football field time and time again last night was okay and acceptable, we've got a bigger problem. And it concerns me. And I hate to kind of be part of this side because I'm always kind of like the positive guy and the Disney guy, and I'm still a very positive, optimistic attitude. I'm going to try to still maintain that, but I'm irritated. I'm frustrated. Again, I think a lot of people showed their disdain last night. We put a lot of us fans, like people think like, hey, we're not boosters and things, and I've kind of been on that train of like we don't donate, but we do. We donate our time. We spend our hard-earned money on this logo, on the gear, on merchandise that makes this whole world go round. If anything, we've been, longtime boosters more than anybody thinks because how much time and effort that we put into this. There's a reason why Florida football doesn't have a noon kickoff this year because the logo carries weight. Why does a logo carry weight? Because you've got fans in Utah, Mexico, Ireland. This logo is passed on through the people that support it. The ones in the chat, the ones in the stands. That's who carries the logo. And I've said this before, and I'm doubling down on it once again. The ones that are kind of sitting at the big table, right, all believe that they are the reasons why. Their ego believes we are the reason why this logo carries weight. And I've been hearing this thing about Napier having an ego and all these things, and I've defended the ego. There was reasons I defended it, right? I think as a head coach, you should have an ego to an extent. But his ego has completely destroyed everything that he has built. Saw a clip last night about Josh Pate talking about, and I think he nailed it on the head on Bustin' with the Boys. And he didn't say this on his show, which is ironic, about everything when you go into the locker rooms, when you go onto campus and you see how everything is ran, how it looks, how it's functioning. It looks like Georgia, feels like Georgia, sounds like Alabama, feels like it has all the pieces that to look and feel like those bigger programs. But the product on the field doesn't match the energy around the organization. So obviously Napier learned how to do all those things right, which we've always talked about. But not able to put the ego aside, and this wasn't even play calling. Play calling we'll kind of get into, but not reading the room. The fact that there was 5 interceptions through one of them for a pick 6, and you're in it with 5 minutes to go. Unbelievable. It's very unfortunate. We'll bring Cody in here. We'll talk about some things. Cody, how you feeling, big guy? Good to see you, man.
Well, you know what? I'm glad they didn't win last night because they didn't deserve to win. And if
the defense
they did win, then we would. Yes, the defense definitely deserved to win, but I'm glad that somehow we didn't pull it off because then it would have been brushed by as, oh yeah, we just beat the number 3 team in the nation. It looked ugly. DJ threw a bunch of picks, but we're okay. We're back in it. I think, unfortunately, that loss last night was probably for the impending future of Florida Gator football the best thing to ever happen to Florida Gator football. We decided last night, or Billy Napier decided last night that he wanted to test the definition of insanity, and he. I know now there's some things coming out about, players not happy with DJ or what have you. After seeing last night and then him doubling down that's our guy, that means you're not putting the best 11 on the field, and I have a problem with that. You, as a coach, are supposed to put the best 11 on the field. You are essentially playing daddy ball is what you're doing.
Real quick, he's wearing a Viking jersey, guys. It's not LSU. Show him the Skull Vikings. Yeah. We got to get the chat in shambles.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I did buy a rack of ribs today, too, by the way. I can't wait to put those puppies on the smoker.
You got ribs? I want a ribs. I'm kind of disappointed you're not smacking a chunk of ribs right now. And you know what would have been better if you would have came on with a clown nose eating red ribs. I think you would have been my hero. You would have been.
They thought it was LSU.
Yeah, they thought it was LSU. The color, I guess the colors are kind of close, but no, it's not at all, honestly. I need water bad. I think you nut on the head, man. That was actually great. Again, not putting the best 11 on the field, which we're going to get into. We're going to use some numbers. We talked a little bit about that last night, where it feels like whoever practiced the hard. I mean, Jaden Ball wasn't on the field enough. I mean, that in itself isn't.
Why is he gone for a full quarter?
I don't get it. And look, I think, we were kind of clamoring for run the ball. LSU's defense was playing phenomenal, stopping the run. But Ball was averaging, I think, 4.5, 3.7 a clip. Again, they were. I think they were one of the best defenses in rushing the ball as of now. LSU is, and so I kind of understood why not. Look, it just felt like we had no rhythm, right? I didn't want it is funny because we're always screaming, "Why are we running the ball? We want us to throw it." Then we go to throw it, and then we're run the ball. It's like, no, we just want to see some tempo. We want to see some identity. We don't know. We don't want to know what's coming, I think is what it is. You know what I mean? Like we just kind of get beat to death of the same old, and it's like, guys, give me something new. You know what I mean? Show me something. I said it last week, and I thought when I said it that I was going to eat my words. I said I think you should fire him now, and just let someone else run the show. And then I came out and I said, look, I still stood by it, but I understood that probably wasn't going to happen due to logistics. Still supported the team. I'm going to still support my team. I know that it seemed, maybe we're insanity, right? Supporting this thing, but I don't know what else to do. It's like, it's just, I'm bred to do this. 4.6 carry. So yeah,
there were some things last night that looked better. And as an execution philosophy standpoint, where the screen game was pretty good, minus a couple of missed blocks. I mean, we probably, if it's blocked up a little bit better, we take one of those to the house. But the point is, when your guy is throwing in double and triple coverage, and me just sitting there watching the game can call out what the defense is doing over and over, play after play after play. I think I was like 20 for 20. Oh, they're going to bring blitz here. Yep, here comes Perkins off the side. Oh, here comes the corner blitz. Like these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. I don't understand. You know what they're going to do. They were so one-dimensional. They could not get pressure or stop the run with 4. They had to bring blitz. And then we decide, oh, we're going to spread them out. That's great. But then we're throwing to the one guy that's in triple coverage.
Well, again, I think someone nailed on the head. We were running 5 wide, but there was a tight end and a running back part of the 5 wide. So it's not your true.
But here's the thing. He wasn't even getting it to the right guy. He was throwing into triple coverage. At what point? I mean, okay, say the game was 2 more quarters. How many more picks does he throw?
He's throwing a couple more at that point. Yeah, the whole thing was downhill. Look, somebody, you said it last night, time and time again. They got film on him, and look, there's a level of rust. I'll go with the rust. Okay, last night wasn't rust. Last night was lack of ability to read what was going on, not understanding the situation of like, hey, when someone's doing this is going to be your 2 open spots. If it's not there, this is where Graham Mertz was great. This is why I was always high on Graham. Because Graham didn't force anything, right? And put the ball in the right place. And honestly, I mean, who knows if the talent around him was a little bit better? It could have been different. I don't know. But last night, I mean, they're throwing cover 2 on him, disguising blitzes. That was something that didn't happen to him last year because again, not enough film of how do we stop this kid. You throw any kind of schematic at him, throw a lot of zone. Zone was tearing him up. Everything was just, he was torched. He didn't know where to go. He was seeing ghosts.
Tulane has written the blueprint on how to beat DJ Lagway, and every team after that has done the same thing. He's going to burn you man to man, so they're going to stay out of that, and they're going to bring a little bit of pressure, and he's not mobile enough now. And then here's another thing. Take the picks away, right? You have a guy out there looking to hit people as a quarterback. I don't want that. Slide. He literally ran into people to hit people for a 1-yard gain when he already had the 10 in the first down.
Yeah.
There's the body preservation. You're already a guy that gets nicked up a lot. Like, what do we? He is to the point where he is playing hero ball, and we can't have that. We're gonna lose more games like this because DJ has it in his head that he can go out and play like he did in high school. This is the SEC. It's the best competition in the world in college football. And you're out there trying to sling it into triple coverage. It was Brett Favre-esque. It was a Brett Favre bad game. Somebody said it last night in the chat. I don't know who said it. Great take. That, as a Vikings fan, I have watched hours of Brett Favre. That was exactly Brett Favre.
So I kept hearing that, and I'm a huge Brett Favre guy, like my favorite quarterback of all time. It sucks because obviously, like, the off-field drama after the fact, it's kind of a little weird. It's like growing up sucks, boys. All your heroes become like weirdos. But watching him play, I loved him. I loved when he went to the Vikings. I got a Vikings jersey. I got a Vikings Green Bay or Favre jersey. I don't know if you know that, Cody. Let's go Vikings. But I understand now. Like, yeah, when it was bad for Favre, it's golf terms. It's John Daly-esque. It's like Tin Cup. Like, I'm gonna get it over. There's no taking the medicine. I'm gonna play the way I'm gonna play, and it's either gonna work or these things are going to the nitty gritty.
And so, sometimes as a leader, you have to understand that sometimes you need to regroup. You need to tell your main guys that, hey, this isn't working. That's where I'm so frustrated with Billy Napier. It wasn't working last night, and then we're just trying to force it. And there has to come a point. Listen, there's great quarterbacks that have been benched. Baker Mayfield has been benched 5 or 6 times. Baker Mayfield was benched in college a couple times. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world because you get benched one time. If you're DJ Lagway, you're a sophomore. You have all the talent in the world. But at a point, Billy Napier's job is to win games. And I don't know the outcome if we throw another quarterback in. But I'm telling you, it can't be any worse than what we were watching last night. Any of the 3.
I was thinking about this. Shower thoughts, boys. In the shower. Think about when we play, because I'm trying to put ourselves in the situation. Like, what's a similar situation that we've all maybe have experienced to some extent, where things are just not going your way in a gaming aspect, and it's like I got to try something new. And it's like, look, like playing Madden, when if I'm playing Madden and I've thrown 5 interceptions and I'm only down 10 with 6 to go. Again, this is where that game, when I'm watching the game last night, like that game we're in, you was like, I'm not losing this game. Because here's the thing. I've got to he's figured me out. So there's something that I haven't tried yet to offset his play calling. Remember when you used to spank me? And then I adjusted, right? I was like, what is he doing? So I had to go away from what I'm used to and figure out how to play another way. That's just me playing a video game. Like I gotta try something new because I was beating you defensively, but I couldn't score. And then you kept getting a couple big plays, which was giving you a head. I was like, I'm close enough to get it done. I gotta just figure out offensively what to do. And it was like, there was none of that last night. Like there was zero adjustment whatsoever. Like, dude, you've got to like just, I don't know. I've got criticism for the wide receivers. I saw a few comments in there. We'll get to that in just a minute. I want to play a clip too, because this is where I'm going to point back to Billy. It's a phenomenal clip from Danny Warfel. Go ahead.
Can I say this before I forget it? Because I probably will. The difference between the difference between the best college coach in the world and Billy Napier is that Nick Saban pulled his quarterback in the national championship game and let that thing ride on a guy that we had no clue what his name was. No clue what his name was. Because why? It was not working. It was not working.
Yeah. In a much bigger moment. Yeah. And I mean, you could argue this moment was big. Yeah. I mean, but it's not as big as that. You're right. $20 for Michael Parker. I'm bummed out. Defense is fantastic. Billy Boy is killing me. Thank you, Michael, for the $20, man. Dude, I think bummed. I don't even feel bummed anymore. I think there's a sense of clarity for me. To be quite honest with you, I've learned a lot as a fan, as a creator, what we are, what we're doing, what is my goal here? What's my objective? This train got rolling, and we kind of just ride this wave, and you just kind of double down on it. And I've kind of learned that, like, some people put me on Twitter last night. Paige, she was like, "You guys did this to me." And I feel that, like, and she's like, "I don't mean to hurt." Like, look, like, I'm not hurt. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings anymore. You can't hurt me any more than I've already hurt myself of how we've kind of leaned into this and wanted to believe it. And I don't regret it. I genuinely don't. Because it's a learning curve. Like, we're human. Like, we have empathy, we have emotions. I love this team. I love what I do. But I also understand there is a responsibility to what I do, and I've got to make sure that I do a better job of that. And I don't, in the sense of like, I guess communicating. I still, again, going back at the things that this year, man, was tough. I mean, you look around, dude. I did my due diligence this year. I felt like of getting multiple different people on, voices, what you name it, you got it, to see where they felt things were. The noise was just too hot of what this team should have been. I don't think that there was any coolness train down in this particular year, but yeah. I'm bummed to say the least. Nick, next man up now, next coach up. Come on, Kiffin. Yeah. Before I lost my thought there is a sense of clarity of like, man, this is why, like, let's just salvaging the season. I think that you would, if you just showed, again, the same, we're talking about Napier doing the same thing, right? Is insanity. Strickland, dude, you got to try something new. Like, there's no salvaging the season. You can't move on past this. Like, trying to let it ride out. I don't know. We'll get into kind of the team quitting here in just a minute. Chi-Town, $5. He was told all offseason that he was the reason Florida will be great. He was given all this hype after the season, and I think that got to him. You know, and I defended this a lot, just because and I'm not saying that it did or it didn't. I was hoping that it wouldn't. Right, I felt like he was very, very base in his religion. I 100% know and believe that he is, and I still think that. I think you're still right. I think this moment was so big that was just that's still hard to manage for anybody, to be quite honest with you. I kind of overlooked it. Anybody else, I'd be like, yeah, this moment's going to be too big. I kind of said it for Arch. Just when we talked with DJ, I was like, man, this guy doesn't get fazed by anything. But maybe the moment got even bigger than I can even comprehend, you know? And to be quite honest with you, Cody and I were talking about this last night. And it kind of like obviously some people may have saw the kind of the breakdown, but of, you know, the situation, but you got to have people next to you that you can trust, that you can look to kind of, you know, hold you to a standard that you respect mightily. And I said it last night watching the game when DJ went and sat down. I was like, he doesn't trust anybody around him. That's what I saw on his face. There's nobody he can look to because he feels alone, because there's nobody around him that understands what he's going through. And I'm making excuses. Like, that's the world that you've gone into. You've got to figure it out. But these kids have gone from like to think about the things that, and you're 100% right. Like, think about how big this moment has gotten. And you've got to look to like a Tom Brady-esque. Like, how do you handle this moment? Not that you've had the success on the field, but off the field, right? Is so monumental. It's like, how do you manage this? There isn't a soul on that sideline that has it. Now, in the same breath, there's plenty of grown men that have gone through adversity that you can trust, that you can rely on. But as a young kid, do you know that? Can you process that, hey, I can trust him? And I don't know. Like, there's so many things going through my head that I'm trying to process.
I think that's the difference between, and this might be crazy, I don't know. That's the difference between having Graham Mertz on the sideline and not. Graham Mertz was his
He respected
his go-to guy. Like, Graham Mertz has had those games of 5 picks at Wisconsin. I watched it. A guy that was supposed to be the savior of the program, and somebody brought it on the live stream last night, the call-in show, that, you know, we've deemed this kid the savior. I called him in my scouting profile the savior of the swamp. And is that wrong for me? I don't think so. I think that's what we looked at this kid as. And when he's not holding up to his part of the deal, it's tough to swallow.
Look,
you know, this is exactly like what Graham Mertz's career looked like. Came in as a freshman, was wildly successful after an injury. Sophomore year, this was it.
I think you're spot on there. I think you and someone just put Mertz was the real quarterback coach last year. That was somebody he trusted. And I think you're 100% right. Maybe the fame, right, wasn't there, but DJ necessarily didn't have it just yet. There was the high school excitement, nowhere near this level of excitement, right? Again, there isn't anybody. He's the first college football Jordan athlete. Like he's a solo, and so again, I'm not making excuses. I want to understand here. Like this is the game. It's an ugly game when you have to perform. There's expectations for you when those things happen. Again, there's just everybody always want to find a reason to blame somebody, and sometimes there isn't. I mean, there's plenty to blame. We've had plenty of that going around, but I think you nailed it on the head. I think he's just alone over there. And I said it multiple times last time. It's like nobody. He has nobody he can go to lean on, and there's nobody that can come up to him that where he's going to consume it and be like, yeah, you're right. There's nobody, and that's a tough place to be. $5 from Paul. Quality over quantity. The entire coaching staff is a bunch of imposters posing as SEC coaches. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Thank you, Paul. Was in imposter syndrome with how Josh Pate was saying the entire system looks the part, but the roots of it aren't there. Guys, there's 750 strong in here. I appreciate if y'all could smash the like button and show some love. I really appreciate y'all tuning in and hanging out. Look, it's a dark place right now for Florida fans. I know there's probably a lot of trolls in here, which rightfully so. Look, I got to be quite honest with you. The troll fans, like, you're not going to hurt me at all. But there's nothing you can do to me. Yeah, we're good here. Rayward Washington, $5. UCLA and Virginia Tech both fired their coaches' fingers. Did they really? Last night?
Last night? On the tarmac?
I mean, UCLA is atrocious.
Week 2?
Virginia Tech, I mean, that's kind of... If Virginia Tech has higher standards than us, that's crazy. T-Dub! Love and appreciate all my high top guys. Love you too, T-Dub. Thank you, my man. Appreciate your support. And there's Nick. Yeah, $2. Nick Mertz was the real quarterback coach last year. My God, he was, man. I wouldn't believe... don't doubt it for a second. Don't doubt it for a second. Let me play this clip here really quick from Danny Werfel. Again, this is... we always go back to we try to tie things in, but these guys, the older guys, the Steves, the Snells, the Warfels, the Matthews, the Spurriers, and even the Urbans, they all coached and played in a different era of college football. And sometimes I've kind of pushed that to side because they've coached and played in a different era. When I mean it's just the NIL was a big thing. But at the end of the day, X's and O's, playing the game is still playing the game. Managing relationships, managing humans is the same. Yes, there's different outliers and different functions that you maybe have to consider when managing it. But there's a reason why there's like the military follows a certain path in training humans. It's been the same blueprint. I mean, they know how to break you, mold you, and create you. Like there's no need to change it, regardless of what this world has become and the things that are evolving. There is still the blueprint on molding and breaking somebody in. And it's how you manage the outside noise is what makes you different, how you have to adjust. Here's the comments from Danny Werfel here, which it's beautifully said.
Well, I won't ever forget my first interception early on. And I thought
Heisman winner, by the way.
It was the receiver running the wrong route. So you're kind of curious who Coach Spurrier was going to put the blame on. Well, I got to the sideline, and at first I was very grateful because he said, "Danny, don't worry. It's not your fault." Brief sigh of relief. Then he goes, "It's my fault for putting you in the game. You're out." So that was an early memory with Coach Spurrier.
I mean, dude, just so perfectly said, right? I mean, such a backhanded comment, but it's a double blame there. I love it.
Can I ask you? Do you think that it's inward pressure that he has to make DJ Lagway work, or do you feel? Yeah, do you feel more as DJ saved this man's job last year? And so he is 10 toes down with DJ and will not come off of it. Which way do you think it is?
So I said it. There's some things that I was right about. I said it earlier in the season. I said, guys, you can look at those last 5 games. We all praised DJ because he was exciting to watch. But the stats weren't, he made some big time moments, but the defense is what won those games. Nobody scored 17 points. That's why I said in Billy's worst day, we're going to score more than 21. My infamous quote. So if he bought that hype, then he didn't watch the film. In which even questions things even more of like, if you really watched what won you the games last year, it wasn't yes, DJ brought a surge and did some things, but Graham Mertz was playing just fine in that Tennessee game. I think DJ made some big-time throws that allowed for us to catch up. I'm not taking anything away from DJ. I think he made big-time moments. Obviously, Aiden Warner was a massive drop-off from that Texas game. DJ played functionable. Let's not get it twisted. He still played great. But I don't think it was solely on DJ. When you're only allowing 17 points to LSU and Ole Miss, I mean, you're going to win football games, right? So, but maybe, yeah. I mean, it feels that way. After last night, it definitely feels like I owe him something, for sure. It feels like that. I don't think that it should have been, but it feels that way, without a question.
Well, if that's the case, then there's no reason to go on with this coaching relationship, because no matter what, you're not going to make a change. He could have thrown 10 INTs last night. I don't think Billy Napier takes him out of the game. I mean, that's the difference. And I understand that these guys are getting paid millions of dollars, but go look at some of the best quarterbacks. As a bunch of guys we that are playing at the top of the levels, a bunch of guys that were 0 stars and JUCO guys, and because they don't care, they're just going out there and freaking slinging it. You know how nervous we are? We talked about this all game. Like, how nervous were we at kickoff? Palms sweaty, stomach was uptight, couldn't eat anything. I can't imagine what it feels like for a 19, 20-year-old kid that's getting paid all this money, as the Jordan athlete, first ever Jordan athlete. The amount of pressure on him is immense. But letting him go out and throw 5 INTs is not the way to fix a quarterback.
But
I think you may have hurt him more.
Yeah.
I think you may have hurt him more not pulling him.
We've argued that before about putting guys out there too soon and damaging their confidence and their ability and creating the yips. But in the same breath, I said, look, pressure. We've heard these guys say it before. Pressure is a blessing. It's, you know what I mean, to be able to have it, and you've got to really believe that and understand that. Look, I think Allie nailed it on the head last week on Monday's show when she brought up the interview from DJ last week of like, look, I'm just there to have fun. It's just football. That wasn't the greatest response, and you kind of saw that same type of energy carry over. Like, think about. I've got I guess it can work here. I was kind of save it for later on the show, I think, but I think it fits here. It feels like there's 2 different football teams playing with the defense and the offense. The defense is ran by, because people are like, well, hey, Billy's the head coach. If the defense is so bad, I don't think Billy has anything to do with the defense. This is the reason why it sucked prior to. Then he went and touched it and maybe made some moves because he asked some questions. But I truly, genuinely believe that he feels comfortable enough to let Ron Roberts carry that thing in its totality. And it feels like that team is ran and managed completely. Like, that side of the ball was ran as a different team. And I even mean it to the nitty gritty of Tyreek Sapp and how, I don't know if you saw, there's an article from Zach Alberti when he threw his 3rd interception. Do you know who went to DJ? Cameron James, Tyreek Sapp, and I think Miles Graham, or Pup Howard. The defense, they're a unit. There was no number 1 on the defensive side or anywhere, right? Sapp addressed that. Sapp is the leader of that defense. Now, you could argue for the team, but you definitely need a guy on the offense that's usually at your quarterback, has a voice that gets after it, that tells you how they feel. And it feels like offensively, it's almost like, hey, like, let us run this thing over there. I was arguing last night, Eugene Wilson not laying blocks, guys not hustling, not doing certain things. Like, the offensive side just played a completely different game, a lackluster of energy, just a lethargic football last night. It no joke felt like it was just, if you take that defense and put them on any other offense, it thrives. And that's why I don't believe that Napier is in full blown. I do want to play this clip here really quick. I saw it last night. It wasn't towards this, but it worked perfectly from JJ Watt, excuse me, because the Dolphins had an all-players meeting after week 1. And obviously we know we had an all-players meeting after week 2, and we hear that, we're like, oh, that's cool, right? Well, I've never been in a players meeting, Cody. I don't know if you have, but I've never been in an all-players meeting. This is what JJ had to say about it. Let's see if you guys can hear this.
If you're at players-only meetings point, just go ahead and book your January vacations. I mean, just go ahead, get Cabo, get your flights lined up, because if you're having players-only meetings, it is over, buddy. I have never been in one where I came out of it and I was like, yes, go, figure it out. Like if you're in players only meetings, like you're just literally kind of looking around like, oh, okay. So, and then this guy comes up with a super passionate speech and he's like, guys, we got to play for each other. We have to do this. And then this other guy's like, yeah, but we're not, it's the coaching, man. This is some stupid. And like, and then this guy over here is like trying to defend the coaches and he's like, no, man, it's not them, it's us. And it's just, it is a nightmare.
When I heard that, it was like an aha moment. I was like, yeah, we're effed. Because I see it. You saw it on the field. Think about it on the field, the performance last night. Think of those guys in a room trying to hoorah the thing. I could see Tyreek Sapp and Slaughter and a few others voicing their opinion. Eugene's, I'm not trying to pick it. I have no clue. But Eugene's body language would be something like, bro, the play calling's ass. Right? If Princely was in there, he'd be like, nah, man, the coaches suck. They got me drive back. Jamar Lyons like, bro, they got me drive back in coverage. I'm a 300-pound lineman. What are we doing? Right? Like that's what happens because there's no leadership. There's no identity. Right? And that's what it felt like last night. Like we don't trust the guys that are running this thing. We don't trust the person that I'm supposed to be going into battle. So I got to go and have a conversation. But there's still a few that do. And they think like, I can rally the troops here. And maybe they respect you and they approach you. You know what's funny is that the players probably respect the person that has the hoorah, the rah-rah meeting more so they will speak up. They will say something. When you don't respect somebody or have any feeling and they're trying to lead something, a leader, you'll just kind of fall to the wayside and not care because the whole thing's already shot. And that was eye-opening for me when I listened to that last night.
Do you think this defense is going to give up this year, or do you think that's not their character? Because what I saw last night when Cormani McClain caught that kid just to keep him out of the end zone, knowing that the play was probably coming back and there was a flag, there's something there that tells me no matter what this defense is going to put on. And listen, these kids are trying to get to the NFL, so plays like that you drafted. That right there will get you drafted in the 100%. First round because that shows elite effort on a play in a game you're not in and a quarterback that you don't believe in, and the game is over in the fourth quarter, and you're saying you're not getting in the end zone. I don't care if I have to die before you get in that end zone. It's not happening. I will push you out at the 1 millimeter line. It doesn't matter. You're not crossing the plane. That's why this thing is so wildly, like, just doesn't make sense. You have a kid that you have saved in Cormani McClain that nobody wanted. Billy Napier took him in and fixed that kid. Kid's gonna get drafted in the first round. You want to take? There's a take. Cormani McClain will be a first-round DB in the NFL draft, and whoever's getting him, great on you. But then you see stuff.
Good.
And it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's so Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
It feels very Honey Badger-esque. Like, I love the Honey Badger from LSU who had a lot of turmoil and then ended up having a pretty good NFL career. Cormani was a little bit sooner, but I tweeted it out, man. I can't be more happy for that kid. We were critical of the kid on the show. I mean, I don't think there was a soul that wasn't critical of that young man. And turned it around completely. And you're 100% right. Like the way that he played and then that energy, that's a GM will notice that. Like, yeah, we want this kid. This kid doesn't quit. Like literally does not quit. Like it's not just for show. Like he has been as low as you could possibly be and is all in. Incredible stuff. Let's talk about this. Got almost 800 strong.
Nobody wanted Cormani.
He came in not after after the Colorado situation. Nobody wanted him. He was. I mean, who were his offers?
None. A walk on. He walked on.
Yeah, it was like some small 3 schools, and then Florida took him on as a walk on. Nobody wanted Cormani after his. Yes, they wanted him early on. Goes to Colorado, damaged goods. What was I pulling up here? All right. So we were arguing. I was screaming about this last night with Mizell. Like, why was it? I mean, we're kind of beating a dead horse at this point. I just wanted to pull out the PFF grades and We usually go over them, but I have zero desire to go over the other ones at this very moment. Put Mizell with an 88.7, by far the highest rating. Played great football last night. And, I had a conversation with his dad at the spring game. I think I talked about it a little bit because I asked him, like, I remember Napier's comments, and Napier's comments are very direct of like, Mizell's good, but got to get better at certain things, route running, etc., to see the football field. And I asked his dad about that. I go, man, that's kind of interesting. What are your thoughts? He goes, look, man, like, Mizell's a different type of wide receiver. Like, utilize him for what he's good for. Like, he's not Eugene. He's not VB3. He's not going to be this quick, slanty guy. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But the Mizell family and all of them have handled this like true class and gentlemen. And again, kudos to Mizell, man, getting some big time plays. I think that, I'd love for him to stay. I don't know what's going to happen. It's sad that we've kind of start having these conversations like, hey, these guys are going to stay, they're going to go. For him, he's got to make a business decision like Pyburn did last year of how do I got to get more film. I want to go play on Sundays. I've got the capability of doing it, but I got to be able to be seen more. Yeah, for him not being on the field over Studervant, who I just don't, man, look, somebody said Billy Gonzalez last night as a head coach. Look, I think that we've got some talented wide receivers, but in the same breath, there just wasn't. If you watch some of that film, the lackadaisical routes, Eugene last night, like, quit. There are plenty of times where I see he's quitting. Again, I'm not trying to get nitpicky here, but again, it goes back to like, look, if you're not going to play on the field, you're not going to play at all. I don't care if it's not coming to you. You can't quit halfway through the route and let everybody else know that you're not playing here. There just wasn't much energy. And obviously they're frustrated. I get it. But Mizell was giving you juice. I don't know why you don't stick with the hot hand. Again, it goes. Jaden Ball's another perfect one you could.
It's the same thing, Jaden Ball though. Well,
Yeah.
why don't you stick with it? It's not. And here's the thing: I get load managing, but it's not like It's not like Jaden Ball just carried the ball 40 times last game or 30 times last game, right? I get. Hey, we really used Jaden heavy in that game. We had to have him to win. We're going to go ahead and use some other backs to kind of load manage them and make sure that we have them for the full season. I think he only had like 10 carries last game too.
12. But yeah, same thing. It felt like 10. That's for dang sure. $2. Muschamp was 10 toes down on Driscoll. It feels very Muschampy. I've already said that. Even how the defense has been, for sure. Thank you for the $2, Anthony. $5. Speaking of Dolphins, can we throw some money at Mike McDaniels to come here? Gosh, no. I love McDaniels when he got there, the swagger, but God, he's just as bad, dude. They suck over there in Miami. Awful. Play calling all over the place, zero passion. Hell no. Gosh, no. All right, let's get into the juice here. So it started, we were on the show when it happened. I think two players, we showed the clip. Two players stood out to sing the alma mater after the game. I wanted to go back and look after the game Mullen got fired, and I think it was very similar. Look, this is the one thing that Billy has been able to ride on. Well, it was one, DJ Lagway, and two, that the team has not quit on him. Did not quit on him, if you will. They quit last night. And I get it. They two guys didn't sing the alma mater. And that hurts. I think that's where it's like, man, like there's small nuances. Like on Monday, we were singing the song with Steve and my kid with It's All Kinds of Weather. Like these are the little nuances that make it special to be a Florida Gator. And look, when I was at the LIU game and I'm looking at the wife and I were looking at the student section and her sister, she's a junior there. She got her season tickets this year. She didn't get them last year. She's like, I think the team's going to suck. I'm not going to go. She gets them this year because obviously all the hype. And I know about me when I was in college. Like you think about all these kids, and there's alumni here that are probably getting these same feels. Like those 4 years were special. And it's about getting to the game early, the Mr. Two Bits, doing the chants, doing all the things that makes it special being a Florida Gator. And seeing alma mater in the game is one of those things. And to not want to do it because you're just so deflated says a lot. So some drama. Look, we're gonna pack this. This is a dicey situation. Okay, we've had Shannon on the show. Much respect for Shannon Sell. He was fire. Everybody's firing up on Twitter. He is And I love the fact that we have these past skaters really speaking up, showing a lot of passion. They've been quiet for a while. A lot of these guys have, and I think that it should say a lot that when people that haven't spoke a lot about the program as vocally as we've seen over the last couple of years, what we're seeing now should show where the state of the program is at. But the original tweet, which you don't see here, and he deleted it, and he's apologized for deleting it, and I respect that, but we're going to talk about it regardless because I know everyone's going to talk about it. Shannon said, tell him to tell the truth. Half the players don't like him, this is in regards to DJ, because they think he gets special treatment versus the rest of the squad, and that's not just a rumor. Look, that's a tough accusation to digest, to swallow, to go over. Look, seeing his disposition on the field last night, I could see where some of this may be true. I think that DJ is I don't think the disdain is necessarily for DJ as an individual. I think the way that the situation has been managed is where more of it's coming from. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Again, we're speculating over a tweet. He then tweeted out after the fact on that tweet, said there's a locker room division. And once again, that's absolutely not a rumor. Like, he's doubling down on this thing. Like, not shying away from it at all. And then he said, look, I'll take the post on DJ. I don't like to compound on top of what had happened, but I said what I said. That's quadrupling down now on the situation. And look, here's even worse, right? We read the quote last night from DJ where it was like, hey, did you ever consider starting Tramel Jones? And he basically said, no. Like, I don't prescribe to that. This is the best quarterback in the country. We're going with our guy. There's a sense of defending, and there's a level of supporting your guy, right? But then there's also a time where you got to, keep accountable, hold him.
I think the best thing for DJ would have been to pull him.
Yeah,
you did not. What did you do? What did 5 INTs do to make DJ Lagway any better? You just told your whole team, I don't care. We're going with this guy no matter what. You think the effort was bad this week?
What you're also telling everybody,
I'm really
it's like
worried about the Miami game.
Your performance doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard you practice, doesn't matter how hard you play. He manages the game, I have a game plan in mind. That's what we're sticking with. And until I feel that this game plan is not working, that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to make an adjustment. He's managing the roster the same way. So all of his tendencies and his habits are starting to get exposed to at an extreme level that I didn't think could be possible. Could be possible. Even Princely trolled him. Princely trolled DJ Lagway because Zach Carter said, come on, bro, 3 of them. And then Princely shared this meme.
On this ride with me. Yeah. You know what? Here go 2 more for y'all. Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Hal, who's a big booster, he's jumped off the train. But yeah. I don't know, man. It's a lot to unpack. Look, I think we've said a lot here today. The one thing we haven't gone over is the list. I usually, I've reverted from always talking about. I don't know. I was kind of pretty high on the list.
Bring the list out. There's 803 people want to know what we think about.
Should we go over the list? Should we go over who we want as our next head coach?
Listen, I don't.
Do you have your own list? Do you have a Cody list?
I usually don't like to bury people before they're past and gone. But guys, last night showed me that we're gonna get Molly. I tweeted last night, buckle up. It's going to be a tough ride for the Florida Gator fans and podcasters and everybody because we are going to get absolutely worked over this season because we have a guy that is unwilling to change.
And people, I've kind of learned in this world that I'm in, like, people are going to make assumptions and judge me and Cody and all of us based on our tweets and thoughts and comments, and rightfully so. That's how this world works. I still believe in DJ. Love the kid to death. Wish him nothing but the best. But you have to be held accountable. Didn't play well last night. Should have been pulled, which isn't his decision ultimately. But
no, it is. He should have walked up and said, "No,
I'm not feeling it
tonight's.
Yeah.
I can't do it."
Look, I think there's that one's. I think you could. I think that you could argue both sides and be right. To be quite honest with you, genuinely, because there's a part where I don't want that person because if you pull yourself out, you're telling me that you're quitting, right? Like there's so many ways of looking at it. You could argue. We could genuinely argue this thing to where I think we both will feel like we're right. I see your side, but I also see like not quitting. Like I genuinely see both sides. I'm not even willing to die on the hill of either one, to be honest with you.
But somebody's got to be the guy to throw in the towel. That's what the coach is for, to keep these
that's
guys.
What I'm saying. That's why I think that's ultimately where I think Napier is he's
like
supposed to be the
Rocky
leader.
3 last night or 2 or whatever, which one it was.
Kirk Cousins played horribly. Kirk Cousins played horribly. Go back and watch that QB, and we love Kirk, you and I. It was hurt, all those things. Would have refused to pull himself out. He admitted he was not playing well, but would never pull himself out. I think that speaks way more volumes. And when you quit on yourself, that's harder to get back from. That's ultimately where I think that I will die on. I think quitting on yourself, you shouldn't be surrounded by people who won't hold you accountable. That's the unfortunate part. That's the bad part. Zier TV, my man. Good seeing you last night. What a profile pic. What a legend. What a legend. Look at What a dog. What a dog. $10. If I was the AD, I'm dying. This show's awesome. If I was AD, I'd be reaching out to Nick Saban, who's made comments recently that he misses coaching, by the way. I'd tell Saban to name his salary and let's run it up. I mean, dude, old Sabe. Who put him to the list? I think everyone's calling for the list.
I get what people are saying about not pulling yourself out, but listen, at some point, and I get it, they want to die on the field no matter what. At some point, you're a detriment to the team. DJ Lagway was.
Yeah, but I don't want you to ever believe that though.
But that's coaching though. The coach should have.
I don't want you to believe that. Yeah, the coach should have done it. That's what I'm saying. I don't want the player to ever
he
believe
knows.
that.
Did you see the body language?
No,
he
I know.
knows he couldn't win that game.
But you don't want to fall victim to that. Even though you are physically,
it's a bad take. Bad take by me. I was trying to. I didn't word it correctly.
You've had a bunch of great ones today. We'll let it slide. To be fair, I thought about it. Like we always joke about our bad takes. One of your most egregious one was when Kansas City lost the first game and you said they were done. Let me finish. And then they go on to win the Super Bowl. Like that was by far, I think, still like but I think that I'm catching you with in his worst days, he's going to score 21. I'm right there with you now. Like it kills me. I thought about it on I was driving home. I was like, gosh, dang it, bro. I'm right. I mean, it's not quite the Super Bowl one, but I'm holding second by myself of worst takes on this show. No question.
But you know who the king of bad takes is though? Paul Feinbaum. So we're
that guy holds that's his niche though, or niche, however you say the damn word. That's how he gets paid. $2. This is what I say about Gruden. He hasn't done shit. Yeah, I'm not on the Gruden train. I've already said that. I made that call last week.
I don't think they can hire him.
Took 2 and 10 for Neville to go play calling. Yeah, look, I think that's where, before we get into the list, that's part of where that's where I'm okay with cutting it down because FSU, I think, did I already say this? No, I said it in my head.
No.
FSU, I mean, outside of Norvell, stripped it down to the studs. To the studs. And there was no recruiting class they leaned on. Norvell really didn't have a soul to sell. I mean, if you're Norvell, you go 2 and 10 and look the way that you did and did what you did to DJ Uiagalelei, how do you get anybody to come? Well, you go hire a great offensive coordinator that's won a championship. You go hire a good defensive coordinator from Nebraska, and then you go get, of your 22 starting rosters, you go get 17 of them from the portal. And all of a sudden, it looks like a brand new team. So you're in an age where you can revamp. You can bounce back. So that's where I'm like, we kind of get scared of how this thing could fall apart, but at the same breath, you can turn it around as much quicker as well too. All right, Cody, do you have a list? Do you want to kind of lay out that you want to go over?
Yeah, there's a couple guys. I have a couple do not hires right away.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting take. I like this.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and stop the Spurrier, Urban, Day,
I
and
thought you were.
Lanning deal.
Oh, okay. Hold on. The Spurrier Urban doesn't count. That's just like crazy fans, like and Tim Tebow. That's crazy fans talking. We can't.
Yeah.
Even I got Tebow over here talking about like Tebow's never coached a day in his life. Like guy's great football player. Doesn't mean he's gonna be a good coach. At least not right away. All right. Yeah. Urban agreed. Spurrier. No go on Lanning. Now
we can't pull him.
Okay. So let's separate it. I don't want to put him in that category because my thing is guys
that we cannot pull. I would say is Lanning and Day. I don't think we can get those guys.
Okay, so we've got a category of like I put Gruden, Day or Gruden, Spurrier, and this is stupid that they're on the list, but of like absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, can't pull. You've got Day and Lanning.
Correct.
I agree with that. Day is I haven't seen Day's name, but I've seen Lanning name a lot. And again, it's a list, so you can have whatever wish list you want, right? But a reasonable list. There's no way we pull Lanning. I would be, and maybe that's our fault for not believing in him. But I also think that I can only imagine what his contract is and how to get him would be absolutely insane. But he's in a great situation over at Oregon.
I'm trying to be a real. Not that I wouldn't love.
Yeah,
Lanning.
we would love
I'm just
Lanning.
Being a realist. I'm being a realist.
That's what's tough because a wish list and a true list are two different things. I think it's Lanning is number one without a. Go ahead with your list. We'll go from there.
Okay, and then I have a couple guys that have had traction here that after this season are no go. Jed Fitch at Washington, no thank you.
I agree.
Fickle from Wisconsin, absolutely not. That guy's going to get gamed.
I don't know why that guy was even ever on a list, but
I don't understand either. And then who's the other one that everybody keeps bringing up? I'm trying to think.
Signetti, that was your guy for last year a little bit.
Signetti, he's not coming. He just signed a 10-year contract with
okay.
So just cancel those guys off the list. Guys that I'm hopeful for. I gotta go Lane Kiffin, number one. I think that a lot of things personally make sense for him to come to Florida. Do I think that the Florida to Ole Miss job is a better job for Lane Kiffin? Yes, I do. I do not think he can win a national championship at at Ole Miss because of the amount of talent and the way that he has to recruit at Ole Miss. I think he could do it'd be much easier for him to win a national championship at Florida just because of the amount of talent in Florida. I think it'd be easier for him to recruit. They have to do some things with getting JUCO players and stuff like that at Ole Miss. Obviously they have some money, but I don't think it goes as deep as what a maxed out Florida fan base boosters with a
and just the
high powered offense.
The talent in Florida that's around it, it would recruit itself.
Yes, absolutely. I would be very questionable trying to go get a guy from the G5 like
Time out real quick.
Gulish.
Time out real quick. People and look, this is a fair take. I've said this before. What has Lane Kiffin done? What has Dan Lanning done? They've done a little more than Lane. Okay, I get it.
Ryan Day was a dead man walking and won a national championship last year.
So there is a part where
the right team to just
to get over that hump is tougher than people want to realize, and it's like he hasn't won the big one. Well, some never get it, some figure it out. Ryan Day figured it out at the right time with his back against the wall. Like again, a year ago he wasn't the guy either. I think Dan won a Big Ten championship in a year that wasn't the Big Ten won a big game against Ohio State, and that was pretty much it, honestly. Won a great game. Look, I'm not taking anything from Dan. Like, let's not get it twisted, but like it's kind of nitpicky here. Marcus Freeman, yes, took a team to national championship, but has also lost some crazy games that they probably shouldn't have lost as well, too. But I love Marcus Freeman. I'm not taking anything away from him. But
I think they lost last night, too.
They did. Yeah, they choked it away against A&M. So anybody that's Jed Fish hasn't done anything. Like there's every name that's going to be on this list hasn't necessarily done what Florida would expect them to do. Like there isn't going to be a name out there that's going to check off every single box. So you have to keep that in mind. Like this is where this fan base goes. It's like you're not going to get the perfect guy. You're just not. Like there's going to be holes, but how I'm looking at it and how you were just saying is like, okay, well we have these things that can fill some of these holes that can get them over the hump, if you will. Continue with your list.
Yeah. If there was a guy that I was questionable about, that I wouldn't hate, would be the Syracuse coach. That dude's a dog. I know.
Fran Brown?
And it's tough to win. Yeah, Fran Brown is an elite recruiter. I think he would bring a great staff in. That's if we can't get Lanning and we have to go somebody question, like a guy that we're a little hesitant on. Give me Fran Brown over some of these other G5 stuff like Golish. Golish has done a great job at USF. I get that, but just because he beat you doesn't mean you automatically want to run out and grab that guy. I don't want another G5 coach at all. I don't.
Fran Brown has done more with less at Syracuse than I believe what Alex has done at USF, and has won some big time games. Syracuse is. I mean, we're talking about working with the bottom of the barrel, and he got Calvin Russell, 5-star wide receiver.
They don't even have girls at that school. There's no girls at Syracuse.
I didn't know that.
It's a boys' school.
Yeah, so I don't hate it. Okay, number 2. Who else?
And then probably third on my list, if you can get a guy from the NFL, go get me the offensive coordinator from the Bills.
I didn't think of the NFL. I always forget about that as a potential target.
Brady Cook, I think.
Brady Cook, the quarterback?
No, he's the OC. He was part of that LSU Burrow team.
Okay.
He's the OC for them.
I think on the list we should probably add. I like Kenny Dillingham. I've seen that name a little bit. Losing to Mississippi State kind of took him off my list. I like his fiery passion, but I like the energy that he brings. Definitely a possibility. A name that I think that would at least have some sexiness to it. Brent Key. You talk about Fran Brown. Brent Key falls into that category. I think he's recruited his tail off at Georgia Tech. I think the offensive line would not be an issue or concern at all. I do believe that Haynes King's done a lot of great things there. And so you could be blinded by that a little bit of what Haynes King's been able to do for Brent Key. I think, talk about this with a buddy the other day. I said, man, a lot of these coaches, man, we always try to blame coaches and things like that, but it really comes down to a good duo, a good tandem, right? That makes this thing work. I mean, think about Andy Reid. Always a good coach. Didn't become great till he got Patty. Now, Patty needs Andy. Like, let's not get it twisted. But both, you got to have like a kind of nice synergy there. You think about Josh Allen. Great. I mean, you see the guy. Phenomenal. If him and those guys separate, are they the same people? You genuinely don't know. Doug Peterson wins with that one team and then falls off a wagon. Ed Orgeron goes and wins with Joe Burrow and his offensive coordinator. They're also made by their good coordinators too, making good hires, putting the right people around them. There's so many pieces that make up a good coach. But Brent Key, I like the tenacity that he has. He's also shown us that he can win big games and big time. I mean, to take down Miami last year when they did, and to take down Georgia Tech this year and really put themselves in a place of like, hey, they're true competitors. And also, let's not forget, have flipped some big time guys and have recruited well with the budget they have. He's done a lot of things well. Again, you're not going to get the perfect hire, but all those names would be great. Unfortunately, I don't think the UAA is going to even look at 3 of those names on the list. But we'll see.
I have one more that's an absolute no, and that's Lane Kiffin. Or not Lane Kiffin. Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley. Oh my God, no! Please no. No.
You know who I wouldn't mind? Cliff Kingsbury. He's already coached in college.
He's been out of coaching for a second, hasn't he?
No, he's an OC at Washington. You think Jane Daniels is out there doing that stuff by himself? No, that's Cliff.
I meant college.
He's 2 years removed because he was with Lincoln before that, but did great things at Texas Tech. Right, that's where he was, and then he went to Arizona. Trash at Arizona. Not trash. I think Comrie was the death of him, but that's besides the point. I think that he's very similar to Lane. Had some hotness, had some downfalls. We could get him at a moment where it's like the iron's hot. The iron's hot. So
I don't know if you get Key. Like
oh, you don't think you can pull
coaches,
him? You don't think he leaves?
Pulling these coaches from their alma mater stuff, like if it's just a money thing, then just write a blank check to Kirby Smart and be done with it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Kirby's not, you about a guy that's not leaving. That's
what I'm saying though. Like pulling these coaches.
Well, that's different. I mean, I get what you're saying. That's a little bit different thing. People had Josh Heupel, Clark Lee. Clark Lee's done a good job, but
I don't think there's any reason to leave Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree. Rated Sergeant, Napier has lost the team. 22K Jackson posted a picture saying F this team on social media. Is that the old resurfacing or is that a new one?
It's probably an old
that's
one.
definitely an old one. That was from last year, and if it's him in a white jersey in the locker room, it's an old one. Dakota, do you maybe think about Ron Roberts being head coach? Yeah, I've been saying that all day.
Interim.
Not forever. No, gosh, no. No. That guy doesn't want to be a head coach. Georgia Tech run 5 plays. Napier runs 5 plays. I get it. I guess his offense isn't the sexiest thing. I do agree with that. And Brent Key. Chandler Scarborough.
Joe Brady is it's Joe Brady. I said Brady Cook for some reason,
okay.
but Joe Brady's Bills coordinator.
Yes. I like
that
Lane,
would be awesome.
Oregon's offensive coordinator, I wouldn't mind either. I like Lane, but he isn't a championship coach. He's a known choker, respectfully. Will Stein from Oregon. Yeah, look at that.
I love
even
Will Stein. That's another guy I really like. Yeah, that's a great.
But again,
one.
Will Stein's unproven as a head coach. So again, you're going to get yourself into these situations. Like, yes, Lane has these things that we are concerned. You're going to have to overcome some adversity with one of these coaches. Which coach are you willing to go through that what adversity do you think that they can overcome? I think that becoming a new head coach in this era, I don't know if I want to do that again. I'm willing to put Lane in the boat, who's already managed this world, who's had success in this world, who can go and turn things around in this world because of the portal, is nicknamed the Portal King from time to time, shows those things, has trouble getting over the hump. James Franklin's there. Ryan Day was there. Like, every coach is basically waiting to get over the hump. They all are. Mario Cristobal, waiting to get over the hump. Like, they're all waiting to get over the hump. Someone's got a hump.
Hey, maybe the hump for the Lane train is just come to Florida and get some more elite talent.
That could be the hump.
And then they can win. That could be the hump. Let me ask you this, guys, real fast. Let's say that Billy Napier is not the head coach of this Florida team. If Lane Kiffin with this defense is the head coach of Florida right now.
Well, you have to understand it's not going
to.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, yes.
Right now. Is this a national championship caliber team?
Watch next week because Austin Simmons didn't play, which we knew he may not play. Did you see what their backup did? 21 for 29, 300 yards, and like 4 touchdowns.
He's a quarterback guru. There's only a couple of these guys out there.
My point of this is he's going to have a decision to make in these coming weeks about Austin Simmons. But we know about that drama in that situation.
Well, and, I'm going to tell you this: Lane Kiffin ain't going to have a problem pulling the plug on a kid.
We've heard the clip. We've heard the sound bites of the guy that didn't want to meet with the coach. Look, there's so many. I mean, look, us Gator fans, we try to find ways to make it work. The Lane thing, when you think about making it work, the fact that he only signed a 1-year extension with Ole Miss last year or 2 years is kind of weird. When you've got Kurt Singetti signing lifetime deals basically, and all these guys, when he easily could have signed a 10-year deal with Ole Miss. If you're Ole Miss, how do you not sign Lane Kiffin for 10 years? I think he wanted to keep the door open, whether it be the Alabama job opens up or somewhere else opens up. Look, if you here's my thing. When we talk about Strickland and UAA,
Florida.
Sorry.
I think it was a strategic play to get to Florida. For a second, let's map it out.
He's like Billy
on why. Yeah. I mean, coaches know. I mean, coaches like dude. It's like you know a good salesman when you see one. You know a bad salesman when you see one. You're in sales, right? I know a good mechanic when I see one. I know a very bad mechanic when I see one. That's all I've done my entire life. Like you when you're in it, you know. You can't tell me that these coaches don't know. Nah, that ain't the guy there. So his wife or his ex-wife, which I'm not sure if they're back together. I've heard on rumors that they are back together. Is UF royalty. His son loves the University of Florida. Why not? Like you don't think his son's saying, "Come on, Dad"? Like they watched that game last night. I'm sure they did this morning. You know what I mean? Like, Dad, can you just go to UF and make UF great again, please?
I hope he was. Matt D says it's a Mississippi law. 2 years is the most. Okay. Well, thank you for being in Mississippi. They have a clause for 5 years. Okay. Well, shout out to Mississippi for looking out for the boys. We appreciate you for keeping that buyout money kind of low.
It's only $4 million.
I think it's got to be more than that. No. If it's
No,
$4 million, I mean, look, guys, let's get a couple.
Oh my God, what are we doing?
Can
we get them right now?
That's less than our iPad fund. You know, we could get a couple super chats and we could get that thing
Can we get
rolling.
him right now? Can he come in mid-season? Is that allowed?
I know. Yeah, everyone's telling us. Appreciate that, guys. That's why I love the chat. Chat's like a chat GPT. Sometimes it can be a little bit off. Guys, 800 strong in here. I appreciate y'all hanging out. It was a beautiful Sunday. Smash it, like it, do all the good things. Look, we understand Kiffin may not come. Like, it's a list. It's not that who we're hiring. And here's my thought that I was saying was, with the UAA and Strickland, if you only care about money and selling tickets, you want to talk about a guy that would send this thing to the stratosphere. The amount of, I mean, dude, you blow the roof off the thing.
Dude, you talk about going from one course correction to the other. I mean, you got a guy I don't even think I think he's the regular homemade vanilla. It's not even the vanilla bean because that's too spicy. To a guy that is, I don't know, some creation of ice cream that what's that brand? They do the wild ice cream, like double, triple chocolate chunk cookie dough.
It's a Superman flavor. It's like 9 flavors in it. It's all your tongue's gonna be stained afterwards. That's the kind of ice cream that Lane is. Look, people are saying Lane's not coming. If you had to put it in a category, it's more likely Strickland says no to Lane than Lane saying no to UF.
Well, why would he?
Because of control. It's a power thing, bro. These guys, again, that's one of those things like, oh, it's about putting seeds in the butt. There's a part of that. They want power. They want control. They want to control the narrative. They want to control what's happening. If they see Lane Kiffin start tweeting at his dog and his dog tweeting back to him, they're going to have a conniption. The first time that I tweet at Lane Kiffin, I mean, he's our head coach, and he tweets me back, oh, you better buckle up. You better buckle up.
Bro, you talk about being on the Lane train. Like,
oh, Brian Hartline's another one. I'm not sold on Brian Hartline either. It's not proven head coach.
Listen,
yet.
I looked up the breeder of Juice Kiffin. I'm willing to go get a Juice Kiffin dog. I'm one of his offspring.
Dude, the merch I couldn't even imagine. I would put his dog on a shirt. Every presser would be must-watch TV. I mean, Lane Kiffin would be college football.
Feel good again, right? We have been just so stagnant.
Oh, Lane Kiffin would be like game day hiring Pat McAfee. The change you need.
You know what it is? Florida football is like when you go to a hotel that's not like Great Wolf Lodge, but they have a pool and you're kind of questionable about the pool water. It's like, it's a pool, but it's not Great Wolf Lodge pool. You know what I mean? It's just we're boring right now, dude. We're so boring. We're just Great Wolf Lodge. You don't know what Great Wolf Lodge is? You gotta take Bubby. It's awesome. Look it up.
Sorry. Well, I think we've said all we need to say. I don't know. Look, screw. Like, again, here's the thing about Florida fans too. This is the one thing I do want to say before we go. What hurts my heart is just the gator on gator crime that's happening on the timeline. Like, we got to chill out with it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Y'all do what you want. I can't. Y'all grown men, and women. But there isn't a coach or decision out there that everyone's going to agree on. Like, it's just not. Like, it's like, I mean, I would like to be able to make the call, but I don't get those powers. But damn, Mullen. Nah, no on Gus Malzahn. I think he's good. Oh, Rhett Lashley was the last one. SMU head coach.
Oh, Lance Leipold up there too. Lance Leipold's up there. Hold on.
You pulling a list up?
Oh.
Oh, I've seen this.
You don't know what Great Wolf Lodge is? I mean, my goodness, look at this thing. You got to take Bubby.
It's only up north, bro.
Well, look at that thing inside your hotel. I mean,
yeah, that's because you, bro. I live in Florida.
I know.
I don't need to be inside my hotel. We just have it outside. Like that's every hotel in Orlando. It's just outside. That's like our Gaylord Palms. There's a Gaylord Palms
maybe
here.
I just get juiced up.
Yeah, that's the wife tells me about all the time because that's what she would go to. She tells me about those like mildewy indoor water parks. I'm like, yeah, you guys are weird. We have the Gaylord Palms here, and they like she wants to go for Christmas because they put on they make it snow inside, and it's like ice blocks, and they have a wave rider. Like, dude, you go look up Gaylord Palms. We was all about hotels. Yeah. Oh, there is one in Naples. All right. Oh, my mom chimes in. There's one in Naples. I'm getting bodied by my mom, boys.
Yeah,
800 strong on this beautiful Sunday. Y'all incredible. Yeah, Strickland scares me. Great show, boys. Great show. We'll see you live tomorrow for Monday Mashup, talking all things college football. We'll break down the LSU game, get Tyler's perspective on that. Talk about Notre Dame. Talk about A&M. Talk about all the great games that happened. Georgia, Tennessee, another fantastic one down to the books. A lot of barn burners yesterday. Not Florida, though. Not Florida. Y'all be good. We'll hang after it. There might be an emergency show press conference tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Keep your eyes and ears peeled. Keep the bell turned on. Keep smashing the like. Keep subbing it. Do all the good things. We'll see you boys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.